Hey everyone, and welcome to another little tutorial here in Warhammer Online Return of Reckoning, the private server. I thought it was about time we'd talk a little bit about how you defend a ground floor as an engineer. Now, there's two different specs that most people play, which is both on the AoE path, both on the grenadier path. Some include napalm, some go all the way up to phosphorus shells and the peak pool. So today we're going to have a look on both of them a little bit, but we're going to start with the napalm version. Now, let's start with a few things you should not do just to get them out of the way. Number one, you should not stand anywhere near the main gate over here because, well, there's a lot of damage, you're in range to be pulled out, and you are squishy. That's for the tanks. I feel the best location to be is somewhere here. Over here you have a decent distance from the main gate. You won't be pulled easily. You have access to the portion with 2 steps. You can AoE it if you need to, you know, as soon as people get in. And also you're very close to this column here. If for any reason you see a beam from a shaman, or you see a beam from a magus, or a pull beam from a marauder, you can just step behind it. It's very quick, very easy to do, and you're pretty much safe here. The engineer, as you know, is a very versatile class, and it has the ability to defend both the main gate and the postern at the same time. So that's one thing you should not do about standing next to the doors. Second thing you should never do is please do not drop landmines over there. Okay, landmine by default, it does about 730 damage to all enemies within 30 feet. And if you include mitigation, you know, a block and this and that, you're most likely looking around 200 damage, which is not worth it. Taking account that you're going to give nice, lovely immunities to the entire front line of Destro, making it very easy for them to get in. So in sieges, do not use landmines in the front gate. I am very specific, front gate. The back gate over here is not a problem. Over here, you can just keep stacking as many landmines as you want. Is not a huge problem, because if there's a couple of engineers and you all together stack the landmines here, you're going to have 2 outputs. Number one, if a stealth class such as the Witch Elf steps in and there's enough landmines, and don't forget you can have 4 each engineer stacking on top of each other, it will pretty much instantly die if there's enough landmines. Second, you're gonna get detection for the Witch Elf. That's like 1.1 point there. The second outcome you're going to have is that if you have enough from a lot of engineers in the same area, most likely the first tank or melee that comes in also is going to die. That gives you a little bit of advantage, maybe scare people off, but if you stack them as close as I have been doing here, you have a nice burst of damage, but only one guy needs to step through the door to die. We'll activate all these bombs at the same time, these landmines. So what is best to do if you want to maximize the damage? You don't care about punts here. I mean, it's not an open door for you to punt people out. The best thing to do is to spread them out, see the circle, and just try and spread them out, just to make sure that if they break through, they'll take damage from this landmine, they'll take damage from this landmine, they'll take damage from this landmine. So as you're standing here, just spread your landmines as much as you can. You can see the landmines of other engineers, and you can kind of like have a look and make a nice, perfect, big landmine. Okay, so not just the first person will blow all of them together and die, but you can maximize your damage output. Now let's talk about our turret. Since we're playing Grenadier build, one of the best turrets to use will be the bombardment turret. The bombardment turret, for those that don't know, besides giving you the usual stacks that give you 20% damage, the other thing that it does is allows you to move up to 75 feet far from it, which is about all the way here, where you don't lose your stacks. As you can see here in the middle of the screen, just above my renown bar, I'm still having 6 stacks. They're not going away. If I go over to about 80, oh, the other one is not exactly accurate, but if you go a little bit further, there we go, it goes to red, I should start losing my stacks. So you have, with the bombardment turret back here, you have a big range. You can move around, you can go behind here if you need to, you don't lose your stacks, you don't have to be stuck to it. Also, you provide a little bit of AoE, and you can just put it somewhere here. I think this is a better spot here. From this distance, it can attack the main gate. It can also attack the back gate, depending what you want. So far, we have our landmines at the back with the turret backing up the landmines, and we're going to focus now our attention to the main gate, where most of the times that's where most people are. Now, another thing you should not do along with the landmines in the front gate is throw napalms at the front gate, right? Specifically in this area here. The reason for that is ranged AoE is not stackable. So if you drop your landmine there, and the next engineer, and the next engineer, and the next engineer, there's only going to be one napalm dealing damage. So we just wasted 4 napalms. What is best to do is the same thing we did with the landmines. And that is we drop 1 napalm there, we drop another napalm on top of our guys doing the funnel over there, another one on the other group with the funnel, another one there, and basically we try and spread them out. Now, if you have effects on, you should be able to see it, and you just keep spreading this. You can also, if the time and the situation requires it, you can just turn, if you see a lot of napalms there, you can just drop your own here at the back. The reason why we want to do this is because since the AoE is not stackable, right? What I want to do, as we did with the landmines, we want to cover all this area here with different napalms. So as the enemy goes into the keep, it takes damage from the second one, from the first one, the second one, the third one. If they go left, if they go right, they're still taking damage. And we want them under pressure. We want their HP to be always grinding downwards. We don't want them just to go through the first one, which is 30 feet, and then as they go in the middle of the keep around this area here, or here, or here, there's just no damage. And the napalms burn for 30 seconds, and they have a cooldown of 30 seconds. You can definitely keep them going forever. You shouldn't have any AP problems with that. So once you have applied your napalm, let's say we'll put ours there, so somebody else has the one on the front, then we can start just on cooldown, just keep bombing with phosphorus shells, the front line, inside the keep, just outside of the keep. It works both ways. Now, phosphorus shells are not stackable, but at the same time they are. You can stack theoretically 2 phosphorus shells, and the reason for that is phosphorus shells deal corporeal damage every 2 seconds to all enemies within 20 feet. So if you drop one and then you wait 1 second and you drop a second one, then the 2 of them will overlap at some point, and they will do second 2, the first one will deal damage, second 3, the second one will deal damage, and then second 4, and then second 5. So you can technically stack up to 2 because they deal damage every 2 seconds. Now that is something that's going to happen in random if you don't coordinate with another engineer. But again, the same rule applies. It is ranged and it does not stack. So if you have 3, 4, or 5, they're just going to waste. So what you want to do is exactly the same thing. You want to try, or as soon as the push happens, you see phosphorus shells here, then you start dropping yours on the side, in front of you, here. Just try and maximize the damage. Just as long as you remember, napalm phosphorus shells are not stackable, then just see the effects and just maximize the damage. Don't allow the enemy to move around freely without taking damage every single second. These are the basics when you're down here. Now, there's a few more things. Of course, you have your single target dots, which, yeah, okay, you can throw them. I personally would save some AP, but you can spam acid bomb to make sure everybody is dotted. You can spam fragmentation grenade on cooldown as well. If you have sticky bomb, it's a long dot, but when it does end or is removed, it explodes, becomes an AoE. I have killed a lot of people with this. At the end of the life, like, yeah, we did it. Runs out or gets debuff from a healer, boom, you can kill quite a few people. Once the enemy is in, you also have more choices. Of course, friction burn is one of the best dots we have. Frontal, you can hit a lot of people, followed by a lightning rod, and then you can back up if you want to. We'll stay there, we'll deal the damage. You can do more phosphorus shells on top of it if you are out of harm's way, kind of thing. Of course, this is my positioning, and a lot of people prefer, and I will show you, they prefer to be up here. But I don't like this position because I can kite if needed. What I mean is, it's very hard to kite here, but a lot of times you have the postern coming all the way up here. I'll just show you. Sometimes you have the postern pushing all the way here to this line, and then you have the front, let's say somewhere around that line over there. maybe a little bit more like this. So it's not safe, right, to move. So you might want to back up a little bit to have that luxury to, I can go over here, hide, maybe drop my keg, drink a potion, peace of mind, come back out to it. Also has a disadvantage. If it's overflowed, you're gonna die. These guys can possibly back up upstairs, but if you are overrun here, you're pretty much dead anyways. Also up here, 99% will be filled with healers. This is the spots for the healers to be out of the way. I don't want to take that spot personally. Some people do. I've seen a lot of Bright Wizards up there in Shadow Warriors, but we can do our gameplay down here, especially if you play in a group and you guard it. If you play with pool, then you just need to relocate a little bit. You can still have your turret here. It won't affect you anyways. And you can play a little bit closer here. This is my favorite spot. This side or the other side, it doesn't matter which side you pick. Depends if you're in a group or not and which way you feel more comfortable. Or if you see people you can pull is more people on this side than this side or whatever. So here you have the cover, so you are not pulled yourself, and you can just come out, move a little bit. This is too close, 75 feet. I will just drop the turret so we give you a visual. So if we drop the turret here, the pool is 75 feet, which means here we are at 50, giving us another extra 25. So basically from column to column to pull. So if you use pull here, you have this distance. Outside you have that long as the yellow line here, from here to here, from the door onwards, from the main door onwards to pull. So you're pretty safe there. The other pull that's long is the Marauder or the Magus, so you can adjust. You see how things play. You gotta get a little bit of a feel for the pull. So don't use landmines. Use this to cover yourself and do your pull. Don't drop napalms all in the middle. Spread them out all around here. Drop your landmines at the back. It's safer. It doesn't matter for the punts here. It's not an open door. It never is. Drop your turret back here so you can defend both sides if needed, and you can move around the entire room with this turret. You have no problem. You keep doing all your grenades while you're moving, including anything that has a cast time, that is fragmentation grenade or sticky bomb. And that's pretty much covers it when you are on the bottom floor. One or more two tips I would like to give to some of the engineers that are new to the game. Napalm looks like a very good, amazing spell. It's 30 seconds, 30-second cooldown. It has increasing damage. You don't waste a lot of AP. Please, as I say, please don't drop landmines in the front door. Also, please don't drop napalms outside of the keep. The reason why you don't want to drop napalms outside of the keep is because you're not really hurting anyone who is guarded. You're not really hurting anyone who has two healers in the party. All you're doing is allowing them to sit in a pool of damage for 30 seconds out of line of sight. So to demonstrate, so if you drop a napalm here, if we see this from the outside perspective, you drop a napalm there. I can sit over here. I'm inside the napalm, right? Maybe there's a little bit of line of sight there, which I doubt. Or even here, I just build all my morals without taking damage, without putting stress to my healers. They drop a heart on me, or they do just the AoE heal. They get their morals. I get my morale without being damaged, and then I'm ready to come in and morale drop you. So don't just drop them for dropping them. If you really want renown or whatever, it's a lot better to drop acid bomb to debuff corporeal damage. It does more damage, believe it or not. And also it will help some of the spells for the Bright Wizards that do corporeal damage. You're actually providing a service for more damage output, and Bright Wizards will do more damage than you do. And that's how I feel we should, as engineers, defending this. Don't stack your napalms. Spread them out, spread out your phosphorus shells. Of course, keep your dots running. Anything that's AoE, you want everybody dot it, because fragmentation grenade, acid bomb, and sticky bomb do stuck. So you can have a lot of them. Keep throwing them, preferably different targets, so you get different ranges to hit them. Stack your bombs there, drop your turrets there, and then I think we can have a good defense, especially if all these are spread out. The rest of the classes can do their part. I hope this helps some of the new players to understand a little bit the mechanics of the defense of the engineer and how skills should, in my opinion, be used, so we get the maximum output of damage and usefulness of them in a siege fight.